Coach, what's the lineup look like tonight?
You will know after the warm-up. Not because I don't want to tell you, but because I just need to know if Stoner's fine to go. So we're hoping he is. He's feeling much better, but we'll, he hasn't been on the ice, so we'll see after warm-up. And we've only got one extra player, so that's why I wouldn't want to tell you something now and then just something else after the warm-up. Andy is what I can tell you.
Okay. Is there a possibility that there could be a change on defense tonight?
Yes, there is a possibility, and there's possibility of 11-7, and then there's possibility of 12-6. Yes, for sure Harper's in. So yeah, there is a change, or we're playing with 7.
I mean, so, it looked yesterday that CC was out. If you go 12-6,
don't make that assumption.
Okay.
Don't make that assumption.
What do you need to see from him, though?
It's not just from him. It's not specifically him. It's right now. I need to see our team's desperation. I saw it against the Islanders. I saw guys come out and go into war, and it took everything to win. And that's what an NHL game is. It doesn't matter who you play. It doesn't matter where you play them. Every NHL game you go into, it's a war, because every team can beat you, and you can beat every team. And when you don't approach it that way, you have 0 chances. So if we want to have a chance tonight to beat a team that is at home, which is a physical, tough team, just got some players back, we have to give ourselves a chance, and that chance is to come out with a battling mentality, being desperate, being relentless, and then we have a chance. Doesn't mean you beat them. We have a chance, and that's what we have to give ourselves, and that's every player. So it's not CC or any of the other guys in particular. It's really about the entire team showing up like we can.
Does it bother you, though, at this juncture that, I don't know, we got 57 games left or something, that you're still looking for this?
No, you always look for this. That's the job of a coach. You talk to every coach in the league, they'll tell you that's what they look for at every game and every part of the season. It's a normal process, and some weeks and some months are great because it's for whatever reason you're on things are rolling, and goals are going in, goaltending is great, and everything is, and all of a sudden you hit a few patches, and then whoops, the confidence gets a little lower, and then you got to start back again. No, there's no moment in the season where it should be or should not be. It's just every year's different. You got last year we had a terrific month of November. And we had a worse one later, and right now we had a bad month of November, and we have to have a good month of December, and we have an opportunity tonight to bounce back from our last game and really to move on from our last games. If we stay stuck on that game, we're the ones perpetuating our own problems, and I think we just want to come out and give ourselves a chance, because we're coming out to go to battle, to compete, not to come out and play. There's a difference between coming out to play and coming out to compete, and that's what I totally found unacceptable last game. So it's not CC, it's not some other guy, it was the entire team, and we lost as a team because everybody was on pretty much the same beat, and the beat wasn't good enough. And then you saw Winnipeg come out strong, and look what happened after. They went out and got shellacked somewhere else. Why? Because every team can beat you. When you're not at your very best, you just open up a door and a small crack, and that's all another NHL team needs. That's why the calibers are so tough to stay on. And like I always say, the NHL is like a race between all Ferraris. If you're a little off, that's a lot, and that's how we can't be a little off.
Is this the biggest challenge you think you've faced since you took over this job?
No, it looks like that from the outside, but from the inside, yeah, but no, from the inside there was a lot tougher things. It's just right now a lot of things at the same time. Sometimes the same things you have to deal with are spread, so they're easier to manage because you can manage them one by one. Right now there's a lot of things that we're managing at the same time. But at the same time, we've had enough good games where we lost that we know that we're right there. So the last one is just, that's the one that we have to. But is it the toughest? No, there's other things that as a coach you have to deal with that nobody knows about, that are sometimes tougher. And I would say from the outside, in terms of result, yes, but from the inside, no, because we got a bunch of guys that are sticking together, wanting to do the right things. So when you've got a lot of guys who are not buying in, and you got a lot of guys that are drifting, that's different. So we don't have that. Luckily, that's right now we got a bunch of guys that are sticking together and recognize that there's urgency, and in that respect, apart from the last game, they've displayed that. So and that's why it's not as tough as you would think from the outside. But it is a tough stretch in terms of result, absolutely. Definitely.
Dealing with the Anderson stuff last year would have been a lot tougher, probably.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to get into all the small details, but last year there was a lot of things that came out, but a lot of things didn't come out that we had to battle. And, the difference was we were able in those close games to come up on top. And all of a sudden, you didn't have to deal with the streak. But really, you had games last year where we didn't play better than the games that we lost 2-1 this year. You go back and we had more chances to win the 2-1 game that we lost this year than last year when we won it, but the result wasn't there. So that's why, in that respect, in terms of the process, we've had some tougher times last year. But in terms of the result, this will be the toughest stretch, yes.
What are you expecting to get from the Ducks tonight, Coach?
Well, they're a big, heavy, physical team that likes to play a heavy possession game. It's different than some of the teams you'll play out east, where it's a lot of fast, quick, up-tempo, quick transition. They're different. They're more of a heavier, physical, older style teams that you used to encounter a lot of, and so in that respect, I think I wouldn't say unique, because there's other teams like that, but they're those part of that small group of teams where your skill guys are heavy, and they're very hard to get off the puck. They got mobility on defense, even though they got size on defense. So it's a different game than some of the games that we've played, and so we have to be physical. We have to be. It's not in terms of number of body checks, but it's in terms of being able to make plays under pressure, make plays in battle situations, and not shying from that. And I thought, that's what we were very weak at last game. We played last game we played a heavy and fast team in Winnipeg, and we weren't moving our legs, so we weren't able to match their speed. And physically, we didn't match the physicality because I think we were in play mode, they were in battle mode, and so we have to be in battle mode tonight. I think it's probably the number one thing on our plate. It's going to be a battle, and it's going to be physical. And whoever's able to give us that will play, and the guys that are not able to give us that, well, I will have very little patience for it.
What do you want to see from Ben Harper?
Well, exactly that. Yeah, you know what? I think that's why I'm putting him in there. I think he's one of those guys that can bring us that. He's shown that he can be physical. It's not just his size. He's I think he's getting more and more comfortable at the NHL level. Not just the pace, but I think the physicality. When you're a young guy, you're coming in, you're a little shy of what you can and what you can't do. But I think he showed the last games that he was standing up for himself, standing up for our players. He's a big body. And I think that it's exactly one of those games that we need him in there for.